All right, Chumash for Thursday, page 33 in the Chayenu. The Parsha, Thursday, fifth Aliyah of Parshas Vayechi. And we are on page 33 and verse 19. We continue with Yaakov giving the blessings to Gad, his 12 sons. He's up to his son Gad. Gad Gidud Igudanu, Hu Yagud Akev. A poetic, nice sounding verse. God, troops, Gudud is troops, will sally forth from God, will march forth, Hu Yagud Akev, and they will return march on their original tracks. So basically, before we start the Rashi, it sounds like God's going to have successful soldiers who will go out and come back. God Gidud Digudenu Rashi on the bottom. Kulam l'shen Gidudhem v'kachim v'menachem. You notice there's three. It's like three, Sally seashells by the shore. So you're seeing the same root three times, right? God, the name God, Gidud, and Yigudenu, right? It's a play on his name with other words. They all mean troops of soldiers. Some in the noun, some in the verb. V'im tomar in Gidud below shnei dlosin yesh lamer Gidud sheim. Now, if you're going to say, wait a second, how can you say the verb Yigudenu should be trooping forth, whatever you call it, marching? You get the root is gimel daled daled, not just gimel daled. So he says the truth is that the root is really just gimel daled, but in a noun form it needs the doubles the daled, daled, which is sometimes it happens. You see this in others cases. Amar katzipar lanud, like a bird that wanders. So the root of wander is nun daled, but it comes from right. Megizas v'savati nedudim. But when you talk it in a noun of that nun daled, wanderers, you double the daled. Also, for example, sham nafal shadud, megizas yashud sarayim. Decimate is shin daled, which by the way is interesting. Shade means the desolate ones, the demons. Shin daled means desolate is the root. But when you want to talk about in a noun form, desolation, you double the daled, shadud. So too, yagud, yigudenu, vigudud, migizach. So too, same thing here. The root is gimel daled, but when you want to do it in noun form, you do gimel daled. When he speaks in the grammar of the tense of lashon yifal means future tense kal. Like he will do this act. He will act as future tense kal form. Then it's not doubled. It's yagud, yanud, yadu, yarum, yashud, yashud. And when it's mispa'el, next page, 34, which is reflexive, the reflexive or the cause or mafilachem. So, by the way, I did not learn in Cheder or in Yeshiva, I did not learn any Hebrew grammar. I'm just saying, it's all by trial and error. And Rashi happens to be one of the DIY, do-it-yourself helpers for grammar a little bit. So you pick up here, there's Yifal, which is active, like, he walked. I think he walked. Yelech, he walked. But now there's another tense, mispa'el. Mispa'el means reflexive in the sense of he became walked on, for example. He became treaded on. Or he's mafil, he's causative. He's making something else walk. He's making his dog walk. Example. So when you take these particular root words, which we talked about, similar to our versus root of God, trooping. When it's in a reflexive or in a causative form, it is doubled. For example, yiskoded, yisromem, yispolel, yisoded. When it's causative, it becomes yosem v'almana yoded. Od is a strengthen. Ad is a form of strengthen. When you want to say make strong, you want to strengthen somebody else, like a widow or an orphan, God strengthens the widows and the orphans, it becomes the double letter, yoded. L'shovev Yaakov Elav mishovev misivot. So to Yegudenu here, it's not a lashon shiafalu acherim. He's not being causative. Rather, he himself will troop back. He won't make others troop. He, the people of God, will troop along. They're going to troop. They're going to march and march back. So what's the blessing? After all this little Hebrew grammar, what's the blessing? What's God saying?
No.
That they're going to have we know God has very strong troops, soldiers. They say sally forth. They march forth. They're going to troop forth. When is this talking about? Where is this kind of a prophecy? When the Jews in the book of Yeshua go over the Jordan, who's at the vanguard? God and Reuven, and half of Menashe. They're going to come armed. They're going to be the elite frontline commandos. Mm-hmm. So that's what it's saying. They're going to troop forth, and then when they're done, next Rashi, they're going to return on their heels. They're going to, part of their deal was that they have to be at the vanguard of the troops, but God's going to say they're going to be such successful soldiers, they're not going to lose a man, and they're going to come back to the land that they claimed, which was on the east side of the Jordan, Aver Yarn, the Transjordan.
Wow.
So this is all a blessing and a prophecy at the same time, like many of these blessings are. Alkev is Bidarkam Siloisam Shalchu Yeshuvu. On those roads and paths which they went into battle, they return. Kimoi vikveisech leinaidau. B'chein bikvei atzayin b'shin laz trazes. So heels can mean tracks, just so you know. Okay, now we're up to the next holy son of Yaakov, Asher.
That's me.
Oh, there you go. By the way, that should make you feel that should make you double focus when you hear your own name being explained and the blessing, the trait of the Asher. Chaf, Asher Shmeina Lachmai. From Asher will come food that is rich, or literally bread that is rich, bread that's fatty. That can make it very literal, bread that's fatty. But it doesn't mean literally that. Uhu yitain ma'adani melech, and he, Asher, the land of Asher, will provide royal delicacies. Rashi. Ma'asher shmeina lachmai. From Asher, literally food that will be rich. Food that comes from Asher's territory will be shamein, rich. What does that mean? What is it referring to? What is it rich? That there will be lots of olive trees in his territory, and he will be the olive oil capital of Israel. And it's going to flow the oil like a wellspring.
Like oily guy.
What?
I'm an oily guy.
So we'll clarify that in a moment. So too we see Moshe, who also gives blessings to the 12 tribes at the end of his life. He gives Asher v'toivel b'Hashem and ragloi, that he will immerse his feet in oil. It's another, to the Gemara, there's a story in the Medrash that basically it doesn't say the full story, but the story in footnote 100 is that they appointed an agent to bring them 1,000,000 manas worth of oil. And he came to Gush Chalav, and from one farmer he bought all the money's worth of oil. Basically, the people of Ludkia needed oil, so they sent someone to go to Gush Chalav, which was in Asher's territory, to get oil. And he got so much oil he had to hire for transport all the horses, mules, and donkeys in the land of Israel to transport the enormous quantity of oil back home.
1,000,000.
1,000,000, you said?
That's what you said.
I didn't say million. I meant all the.
Before you said 1,000,000.
Tell me I gotta be late. Okay.
All the horses in Israel.
Yeah. Okay. Chaf Aleph. Naphtali yala shlucha. Naphtali will be like a free-running deer. Hein. Haneisim mishafer that produces words of praise. Let's see Rashi. What's it talking about? Ayala shlucha, a free-running hind, a deer. Zu. This is a prophecy to the Bikas Ginosar, to the valley of Ginosar, where Naphtali's land was. Shikala levasho pereseb kayala zu. Shikala lerutz. That just like a hind that runs quickly, there'll be very quick ripening produce in that land. Ayala shlucha, ayala mishlachas lerutz. Okay. A deer released. Interesting. Shlucha means a released deer that runs like quickly. That's released. Hanaisim mishafer. It says Uncle translates it, which is his portion will produce fruit, such good fruit, quick ripening good fruit, that people will give words of praise to God for such delicious fruit. Dover Acher, another explanation of what this blessing prophecy is about. This is about the prophecy al Milchemes Sisra Nisnabi. This is a prophecy in the future when the Jews are at war with Sisra, who was the Assyrian general, who laid waged war with Devorah and Barak. And Devorah, the prophetess, said to Barak, "You shall take with you 10,000 men on the sons of Naphtali." And they went rearing into battle like a deer, like wild running deers. There too, the term shiluach is used. Into the valley they were sent on missions for him. So this blessing is, as we say, the blessings are both blessings and prophecies. The prophecy aspect is that Naphtali's men will be very fast-moving soldiers in that war against Sisera. And what's going to happen is the next part of the verse, Hanaisim Yeshafer, that through them they're going to win the war, and that's going to cause Devorah Ubarak, her husband and general, to give the shira, the praise. Rabbi Seinu Drashu Ad Yim Kuras Yaakov. Our rabbis, they explain this as referring. So that's okay. So we talked about it means they're going to have good fruits, quick fruit, ripening fruits, quick like a deer ripening. People are going to praise God. Second is that there's going to be a prophecy that Naphtali soldiers will go quick into battle, win the war, and cause the shira, the praise to God for salvation. Number three, Rabbi Seinu Darshu Ad Yim Kuras Yaakov. Our rabbis said this is actually referring to an incident, another prophecy that happens by Yaakov's burial. What happens there? Kishir Esav al Ma'ara Mesechta Seita. B'targuma Yisrame Adve Yipol Chavloi. Before that, basically the story, and I have to leave at 11 o'clock, so my apologies for being a little quick, but basically the story is like this. Esav, when Yaakov was being passed away and was buried, Esav hears about it and comes to protest. He says, Yaakov, I did not relinquish my burial spot in the family burial ground. There's two spots left. I'm sorry, there's one spot left. Yaakov gave his spot to Leah. Leah didn't have a place there. It was for me and Yaakov, and Leah took a spot. That's Yaakov's spot. I get the other spot. Yaakov can't be buried in the cave of Machpelah. So they say, what do you mean? You sold that to our father. And he says, oh yeah, prove it. He says the documents are in Egypt. So they sent Naphtali who was very quick to go get the documents. Meanwhile, it still took some time, although he was quick. It says Dan had a son, Chushim, who was deaf. And he didn't hear all the back and forth. He's just like, what's going on here? And they signed him like Esav not letting Yaakov go. And he's like, what? Our holy grandfather his body should be out in the hot sun because of this wicked liar? He took a stick and he chopped off Esav's head. And Esav's head rolled into the cave Machpelah and was buried with Yaakov.
Wow.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it's in the Gemara in Saita.
Esav's head is in the cave?
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up in Sota.
I've heard it before. But I don't know. Yeah, okay.
Anyways, the point is Naphtali in that story was the quick messenger guy. Okay.
Yeah, but
Unkel's translation.
Esav's head is very offensive to me to be there in that cave.
Yisrme Adve. His section will fall out to be a good land, and therefore he will give thanks for his portion with pleasant words and praise. Okay. Chav Beis. Bein Poras Yosef ben Poras Aliyayin. A man of charm is Yosef, a man of charm to the eye. The girls would climb up to gaze at his beauty. Rashi, Ben Poras, he's a man of Poras, means Chen, charm. This is Aramaic for Apiryoin Namtiye La Rabbi Shimon Seba Messiah. Let us show our favor to Rabbi Shimon at the end of Bab Messiah. Ben Poras Ali a man of charm to the eye. This means his charm is drawn to the eye as of the one who sees him. Okay. Banos tzada alishur. Girls would climb up as to gaze. Banos Mitzrayim ha'utzayadis alachaymel istakel biyafyoi. The girls of Egypt would climb up the walls to gaze at his beauty. It was like Beatlemania, just to give an example. Banis harbe tzada. Banis means plural girls. Each one singularly would climb up to their place so she could see him. Okay. Alishur is an unusual word. It means for the purpose of seeing him. As we see, ashur actually can mean observe. Ashurenu v'lo karov, as Bilam says. The Midrash Agadah, there's many of these. Zenot liyisho mikrab. There's many midrash on this. This is very chock full of midrash, but we're giving the most literal one here of what was going on. It's referring that he's very handsome, that people would want to see his beauty. Poras, the tough of Poras actually is a stylistic addition. Kimal divras bnei adam shur kimal shur. Par would be more, I guess, the charm. Anyways, okay. Shur, even though it's saying on seeing, it means to see. Another explanation of Ale Shur. So that's Vashi gave his favorite one. Yosef was charming and handsome. The girls wanted to climb on the walls to see him. However, the Egyptian women, yeah. Targum Shonkelis, another explanation of Shur is Bishvil Lashur, in order to gaze. To gaze or in order to gaze. Okay. Uncle's translation, he says a different situation. He says a different translation of this whole blessing. Two tribes will emerge from his sons who will receive a portion and property. So according to his explanation, the verse writes Banos, even it really means his sons, is because one of his sons had famous daughters, the female descendants of Menashe, the daughters of Tzalafchad, who received a portion of land on both sides of the Jordan. Interesting. Okay. So interesting. Okay, I'm just unpacking myself. So Onkelos, which Rashi doesn't make it his number one choice, but he gives it as a second choice. He translates the verses like this: Banos tzad alishur. It really means he'll have sons. His sons will emerge. I don't know I gotta take a Uzning cheat sheet here. 1 second. Yosef. They don't do that. I'm not sure exactly how it plays out, but it means Yosef's sons will take portions on both sides of the wall. The Jordan River is called the wall because it blocked Moshe's entry. It actually also became a wall of water when Joshua went through. The point either is that it's referring to the prophecy of that Yosef's sons are going to have two portions, of which one of those sons is going to have descendants who are going to have portions on both sides of the wall. It's a little bit of a few steps, but that's what it seems to say.
There's a tribe on both sides, right?
Yeah, Menashe's half on this side, half on that side. Okay, of the Jordan. And Onkelos also translates, you go back, the first part a different way as well. He says, Biri Yiske Yosef, that Yosef is a fruitful son. He is a son of a lot of progeny, of children. There are also a good explanation which fit with the wording of the text. At the time when Esav came to meet Yaakov, all the other mothers went ahead of their children to bow down to Esav. But about Rachel, it's written, Yosef drew near with Rachel and they bowed. Time that Esav came towards Yaakov, they all B'chulan kadmu ha'imoy slechas l'fnei b'nei and l'shtachavos. By all of them, their mothers went ahead. We said this earlier. When Esav was in the showdown, it says the mothers went first, then their kids. But Rachel, Yosef went first. Yosef said, "This wicked one, he's so haughty and just desires whatever he wants. I'm going to hide my mother's beauty so she shouldn't, he doesn't see her too well." So it says he stuck out his neck, his posture to its full height in order to really block his mother. And because of that, he got the merit of this he protected his mother's beauty. He was very beautiful. This is what Yaakov is referring to. Ben Poras, Yosef Aleayin, you son of who drew yourself to a great height. Poras, I mean your son who you stretched yourself to full stature to block the eye of Esav, on the eye of Esav. Therefore, you merit that the daughters climb in the walls to look at your beauty when you go out. Another expounding for the verse of Shlo Yishuv Zar said that the evil eye should have no power over his descendants. Even when Menashe and also when he blessed Menashe Ephraim, he blessed them, they'd be like flesh, on which the evil eye has no effect.
Wow.
So we see they're right. They were called they're like fish, no evil eye, that their eyes evil eye can't affect them. Okay, it was earlier. We said earlier that their Menashe Ephraim should be like fish. All right. The people embittered his life and became adversaries. The sharp-tongued bore him hatred. Okay, Rashi. People embittered his life and became his adversaries. His brothers embittered his life, and Potiphar and his wife embittered his life by having him imprisoned. Vayamaru is the same expression as they embittered their lives. many people embittered his life and became his adversaries, his brothers and Potiphar's wife. For Reibu means Nasu Le'achav non-shirav. They became adversaries, people of fight contention to him. This word is not in the Kal simple act form, for if a so should be punctuated Varavu, as in these are the wars of contention which they quarreled by. And even if it had become shooting meant Varavu, they shot arrows, it should be punctuated Varavu as well. It is in fact a passive form, Pu'alu, like be astounded, O heavens, which is a similar form Hushamu, similar exalted Remu. It's a similar form of Huramu, except for the forms Huramu Shamu mean they become exalted by others. But Rebu Remu Shemu is these acts were done by themselves. They make themselves astounded. They become exalted of their own accord. They became his adversaries. Be still, inhabitants of the isle, Daimu, which is similar to Nadamu. So to English translates this as Vinakmoyi, they avenge himself on him. Man, oh man. Okay. Balichitzim, the sharp-tongued. Shoshenim kachetz, these are tongues were sharp like arrows. English translation of Bali Falgoisa, those who will divide. Meaning their tongues were like arrows and hatred. But Rabbi Onkelos says actually no, they were his inheritance splitters. Because those that split inheritance with him. Chavdalid, next verse, page 38, top of the page. Vatesha be'esin kashte. Yosef's power was firmly established when his arms were adorned yadav, were adorned with gold. This happened midi Avar Yaakov, from the mighty one of Jacob, God, Misham, and from there, Roy Evan Yisrael, he became a provider for the family of Israel. Chavdal Vatesha be'esin kashte. It means he was firmly established. It means it's firmly established means his power. When his arms were adorned with gold. This refers to the placing of Pharaoh's ring on his hand. He became powerful, established. Kashte is a term. Kashte can mean power. His power was established when his arms got gilded. When the Pharaoh gave him the golden ring. The empowerment ring. This has happened now because the Avir Yaakov says the verse, the mighty one of Jacob. From there he went up to be a Roa of Israel, a provider of the stone of Israel. He became a provider for the foundation of Israel, of Yaakov and his family. This is a royalty, whatever. Onkelos also similarly translates this. Vateshev means V'tavas b'nei Yosei, that Onkelos is similar but different. That his power fulfilled the prophecy of the dreams that he dreamed about them. Al dekayim arais b'sister. Why did his dreams come true? Because he secretly kept the Torah, even in Egypt. This is an addition of Onkelos, which is not a translation of Hebrew words in the verse. Kind of Onkelos a lot of times sometimes he adds in between the lines, not just translation. And he put in the Almighty his trust. That would be the translation of Esan Kashi. He put his trust in God. So to Onkelos translates the Hebrew like this. His prophecy was established and fulfilled because the mighty God, who was a trust for him, who was a place of assurance for him. Okay, Onkelos says further, therefore, basically, because he kept the Torah and put his trust in God, the prophecy of him becoming the leader happened. And that's why gold was placed on his arm, and Yefezu is Paz means fine gold. Evan Yisrael, the family of Israel, the stone of Israel. We said Evan, stone of Israel, is really a contraction of Av Ubain, meaning fathers and sons, the family of Israel. He became a provider for the family of Israel. Our rabbis expounded, so our rabbis in the Gemara have another way. They say this is preferring to the righteousness of Asa, of Yosef, that when his master's wife tried to seduce him, That Kash means his seminal flow. It's like a boat. We said it's like an arrow. Yeah, we explained that correlation before. But basically, when he's trying to suppress his hormones, it says a miracle happened that instead of him releasing his seminal flow, his seed, to do a sin, it went out through his all his hormones went out through his fingernails. And this happened. Why Midi Avri Yaakov? This is because of why did at last minute he didn't sin, he didn't do the deed, and then God made it happen go away. And he ran away. Because why? Why does urges and hormones go away? Because he chose to act righteously because of Avir Yaakov, because of the image of his father appeared to him at that moment, and he didn't want to sin, to make his father let down. Chav Hey, the God of your father did this happen, and he will help you further. This basically, zero to hero story. It happened because the God of your father helped you, and the God it happened, and he he'll help you further. Shaddai, the all-sufficient God, was what your heart was with. So God, and so he will bless you with blessings from the heavens above and blessings from the depths that lie below. The blessings of fatherhood and motherhood. Okay. From the God of your father. From the God of your father did this happen to you, and he will help you. And the whole story of Yosef, the ups and the downs and ups. And because your heart was with God to resist Potiphar's wife, he will bless you. What's the blessings going to be? It's the meaning, as Uncle translates, as blessings of fathers and mothers. May the progenitors and the childbearing women be blessed, of Yosef, I guess. That what? And they will impregnate a drop fit for pregnancy. And the nekevos, the women of Yosef, they will not lose won't miscarry their children. Their womb will not miscarry their children. Okay, Chavav. I'm sorry. One more Rashi. Shadayim. Shadayim means yara, cast down. So too, Shadayim here means the seminal flow because it shoots out, shoots downward. The blessing of his seed will be good, and the blessing of the womb of the women will be good. Chavav, verse 26. Birchos avicha, the blessings bestowed upon your father, gavru al birchos harai, have surpassed the blessings bestowed upon my parents. Ad tavas kivaselam, reaching until the far ends of the hills of the earth. Tiena l'reish Yosef, those blessings that Yaakov gets, it sounds like, should be given to Yosef. Ulakadkoid, and upon the crown, to the one whose crown the Zirach was set aside from his brothers. Rashi. So Yaakov's now basically saying, you're going to get my blessings. Birchas avicha gavru. This means the blessings with which the Holy One, blessed be, have given me. God's blessed me more than my parents have been blessed. So much so till the ends of the earth, the ends of the hills of the earth, because my blessings I received grew until the far ends of the hills of the world. For God gave me a bursting, unlimited blessing, a bracha prutza, a bursting blessing that goes to all ends of the earth, right? Yaakov got ufaratsta yom ufaratsta yama v'kedma. You're going to burst forth to all ends of the earth. Avram and Yitzchak did not get that blessing. Avram got the blessing of look up and look northward to the land I'll give you. But he only showed the land of Israel. To Yitzchak, he said, to you and your descendants, I'll give all these lands to fill the oath of getting the land I swore to your father. And it's to this blessing that Yeshaya refers, I will give you to eat of the heritage of Yaakov, your forefather, and God did not say the heritage of Abraham. In other words, Yaakov's blessing of Ufaratzta, which goes beyond Israel, it's to spread to the whole world to become holy,
Amen.
is Yaakov's blessing.
Wow.
So, Horai, my parents, Horai comes from Heraon, the ones that conceive you. Haruni, the ones that conceive me in my mother's womb. Horai Gever. Okay. Ad Tavis until the far ends. Ad Ktsai says, and you shall then mark out the ends for you on the eastern border, to the ends of the hills of the earth. You shall mark the eastern border to Solo Vechamas. Okay. Tavas, he says in Old French is bounds. That's how Menachem and Sarek says it, but Onkelos actually translates it differently. Tavas, as in the typical, the more common, the desire of the hills of the world. What are the hills? The pillars of the earth, because his mother Rivka longed for him to have the blessings and forced him to receive. Yaakov got the blessing because his mother desired he gets them. The matriarchs are called the pillars and the hills of the earth. Tiyena, they shall be all to the head of Yosef. Nizirachav, the one who was set apart from his brothers. Nazir, a Nazir means a separate, someone who separates himself from things. And that ends the Chumash
God.
for